Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Here we are to preview week number 10 of the NFL season. As we are starting off with the Falcons and the Panthers. And I think Panthers are going to get a bounce back win here. Yeah, they got humiliated by the Titans, allowing 21 sacks to David Carr, although ain't the first time David Carr's been a part of a record sack season. Well, record sack kind of thing, because he is the holder for being sacked the most times at 76, which is crazy to think about considering all the dual threat quarterbacks nowadays. But I think Carolina's going to still walk away with the win here. Bills and Dolphins, I think Dolphins are going to win this because Buffalo's just not doing so hot this year. Steelers and Browns, I think it's going to be the Steelers. That top 5 defense for Pittsburgh really starting to come alive now. I mean, won the last 2 games. They've been doing pretty well. And I can easily see Pittsburgh trying to make a late push for the playoffs. Broncos and Chiefs, I think it's going to be the Broncos. Especially with that third-ranked defense. And going against Damon instead of Trent Green, because Trent Green having that precision passer ability, he probably would carve up this Broncos defense. But since you still have Damon under center, and even though the team beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers last week, I'm not sure they can repeat that performance against Denver. Jaguars Titans is going to be Titans, no doubt about it, Cole. Vikings and Packers. Now, there are some people that are wanting the Packers to start Aaron Rodgers. Well, to start Brett Favre over Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to get things done in 2 games. But I'm hearing from the coaching staff that they'll give him one more game against Minnesota. And honestly, it seems like when the starting job's on the line, that's when the quarterbacks start to play well. I mean, it happened with Brett Favre, early on in the year. Let's see if it'll work for Aaron here, because if not, it's going against a defense that, rushing-wise, is literally at the halfway point of the league, but Minnesota's trying to stay afloat for that NFC North race. Green Bay's falling way back, but we'll see how it goes here for the Pack and the Vikes. Game of the week, Eagles and Redskins. Which I don't blame this for being a better game of the week better choice than Broncos, Chiefs, Jaguars, Titans, Panthers, Falcons, because the Redskins, they're trying to stay in the playoff hunt right now. And I just can't see them really staying in the playoff hunt right now, because that Eagles defense, second best in the league. 5th best rushing defense. I just gotta go with Philadelphia. They're being well-rounded right now. 7th in offense, 2nd in defense, 6th in point scoring. Yeah, Eagles are gonna win this one, I believe. Rams and Saints. I think it's probably gonna be the Rams because of that high-powered offense. Saints have been doing well the last few weeks, especially Drew Brees actually throwing touchdown passes instead of picks. Rough way to start the year for Drew Brees, but he's been coming into form now. But I think the Rams will win this, and the Saints will just have to continue to claw and fight their way to the playoffs. Speaking of clawing and fighting, we got the Bengals and the Ravens. A rematch from the week 1 game of the week. And I gotta say, Baltimore's gotta get their revenge at home. They may not have Terrell Suggs, but they still got Ray Lewis. They've got Ed Reed. They have Samurai Roll back there. They've got Chris McAllister. They've got Haloti Nada. They'll have that loaded defense. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of them close-scoring games too. But give me Baltimore this time around. Bears and Raiders, I say the Bears are going to win they're just going to come in and shut down Jamarcus Russell and make Jamarcus look like a bust. Although Jamarcus Russell with 3 wins this season so far, I mean, you're doing pretty good, Oakland. Yep. Sorry about that. Hate having long hair. Would get a cut, but it's getting cold outside, and I don't need my neck to be cold. But yeah, Jamarcus Russell having 3 wins. Probably not what a lot of people were expecting, especially the team that's around him. But hey, you know, Cowboys and Giants. Another rematch from week 1, I believe. And I think the Cowboys might actually win this one. They've been on a losing streak. They need to beat a team. And I think the Giants are the team that they will do it against, even though the Giants do have a top 10 defense. It's just, I think both teams are going to start a little late trying to get to the playoffs. You know, this ain't like college football where you can get lucky and have 6 wins and make a bowl game. I mean, by the looks of it because as we'll take a look in the standings here for the NFC, you know, Vikings or even the Lions maybe could even get into the playoffs with less wins than the Buccaneers, the 49ers, the Rams, you know. So, and again, both of them being behind the Redskins in the NFC East standings, that's definitely not going to help them out at all. So, you know, this might just be, like, if I'm Dallas, I'd rather lose and get a better draft pick. You know, figure out what you need, figure out where your holes are, and fix them in the draft and free agency, you know. So if I was Dallas, I'd just go ahead and tank the rest of the year, but that's just my opinion. Lions and Cardinals, speaking of tanks, I'm going to go with the Lions here. Even though the Cardinals do look better on paper, their stats just haven't been able to back that up. And that's the thing, though. Like, they look decent enough on paper, but 0-8 right now. Currently fighting with Buffalo for the number 1 overall pick. It's going to be interesting on how this season winds on down. And the Colts and the Chargers, I think Indianapolis is going to win this. I mean, they just got a bounce back win against the Patriots of all teams. You know, Peyton Manning's going to carve up this defense, I believe. And for Indianapolis, like their last stretch before they face Tennessee again at week number 17. Also, the teams with bye weeks this week are the Buccaneers, the Jets, the Patriots, and last but not least, the Houston Texans. But, yeah, the Colts, they have the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. I think that's the Thanksgiving primetime game. The Jaguars, the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Texans. And out of this stretch here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of this stretch of 7 opponents, I can see them legit going at most 6-1 with their only loss I see being against the Ravens. Just because of how menacing that defense is. So this is going to be like the push for Indianapolis. And it starts on Sunday Night Football in San Diego. Yeah, the Chargers, they're trying to make it to the playoffs as well, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the AFC standings. You know, Chargers are currently sitting in the 6th seed, tied with Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Kansas City, all fighting for that 6th seed. Meanwhile, the Colts ain't fully down and out. They're sitting at 2-6, but they get that run, they start sneaking up right there. Gonna be interesting to see these next few weeks. Gonna be fun to get to the Week 12 standings update video. And our last game, the 49ers and the Seahawks. I say Seahawks are gonna win this. I mean, yeah, it's a battle between two highly offensive teams. Third total offense for the Seahawks, 6 for the 49ers. Second most points scored for the Seahawks, while 49ers round out the top 5. But Seattle's just been decimating teams this year. You know, which is fun to see. Especially since they got that game against the Eagles here. I mean, they lost a lot closer to the Browns than expected, but then again, they were just coming off a bye week, so all that momentum they had for the Rams probably got lost. They trounced the Saints, ran over the Steelers. They barely beat the 49ers back in Week 4, but what do you expect from a divisional game? You know, beat the Bengals, nearly lost to the Cardinals, but won by 8. Like, they started off a couple of close games, then they started really getting on a roll the last 3 weeks before their bye week. But that is the Week 10 preview, and I will see you all next time.